Welcome back to Becoming a Therapist. Today I'm doing a lecture style video about object relations theory for the marriage and family therapist exam. Object relations theory focuses on how early attachment relationships, which are the objects in this theory, are internalized and later expressed in adult couple and family dynamics. On the MFT exam, you're going to see this theory tested through relationship patterns, projective processes, and the therapist's stance. It's not going to be an abstract theoretical thing. So here's some core assumptions you must know. Relationships shape personality. Early caregiver relationships form internal representations that guide future relational expectations. The object is a person, not a thing. An object is an emotionally significant other. It's usually a caregiver. Internalized objects influence current relationships. So, unresolved early relational patterns, like with a parent, are replayed in adult partnerships and family systems. Change occurs through insight and corrective emotional experience. The therapeutic relationship actually becomes the new relational template. The therapist has to model that healthy relationship. You should recognize Melanie Klein. When this name comes up, think about splitting, paranoid, schizoid, and depressive positions. Ronald Fairbairn. Think about relationships, not drives, that motivate behavior. Donald Winnicott. Remember the true self, the false self, the good enough mother, and the holding environment. And lastly, Margaret Mahler should make you think of separation individuation. The first key concept in object relations theory is internal objects, mental representations of self and others formed early in life that influence expectations in adult relationships. Splitting is seeing others as all good or all bad. This is common in early development and some adult relational patterns. Projective identification. So, an unconscious process where a person projects unwanted parts of the self onto another and behaves in ways that induce the other to feel or act accordingly. Object constancy is the ability to maintain an emotional connection despite physical or emotional distance. The holding environment is an emotionally safe therapeutic or caregiving space that allows growth and integration. So let's talk about how the marriage and family therapy exam tests object relations. The exam rarely asks for definitions alone. It tests whether you can identify unconscious relational patterns, recognize projective processes in couples, understand therapist countertransference, and use the relationship as a corrective emotional experience. So in couples and family therapy, you should recognize object relations when one partner repeatedly experiences the other as abandoning or controlling. Strong emotional reactions appear disproportionate to the situation. The therapist feels pulled into a role, like the rescuer or the critic or the caretaker. Conflicts echo early attachment wounds. These are reenactments of internal object relationships, not just communication issues. Okay, so let's talk about how the marriage and family therapy exam is going to test your knowledge on the therapist's role. So the correct therapist stance would be emotionally attuned, but boundaried, reflective, not directive, uses interpretation sparingly, and monitors countertransference closely. An incorrect stance would be skills-only interventions, behavioral contracts, or immediate problem solving without any insight. Let's compare object relations to other marriage and family therapy theories. So compared to Bowen, object relations focuses on internalized relationships. Bowen emphasizes differentiation. Compared to EFT, object relations focuses on unconscious patterns. Remember, EFT emphasizes emotional accessibility. Compared to structural family therapy, object relations explores intrapsychic dynamics, while structural family therapy focuses on boundaries. So let's go over some ethical and clinical pitfalls. A big one is overinterpreting without rapport. Another is ignoring present-day strengths. Third, pathologizing normal attachment needs. And the last one is using insight when actually stabilization is needed. The marriage and family therapy exam favors timing and containment, not aggressive interpretation. So here's some clues on the exam that signal you're dealing with object relations theory. Be sure to look for early caregiver narratives, repetitive relational conflicts, idealization and devaluation cycles, strong therapist emotional reactions, and language about internal worlds or relational templates. All right, here's the bottom line of what I want you to take away about the object relations theory for the marriage and family therapy exam. So, for any questions related to object relations, the best answer usually looks like this. Maybe it references early relationships, explains current relational patterns, uses insight over skills, respects emotional safety, and recognizes unconscious processes. If you're looking for more resources for future therapists, go to www.morganpiercy.com. Thanks so much for watching through the end. If you're studying for the marriage and family therapist exam, be sure to check out this playlist that I have linked on the screen. As you'll see here on my channel, I'm trying to make a bingeable exam prep series for each of the major therapist exams. The best way to support my channel is to watch this playlist and let me know what videos you want to see next. Happy studying!